On today's show, we are discussing Unforgivable Love, a retelling of Dangerous Liaisons. So ladies, what are we talking about today?
Living in your truth.
Vulnerability and life of the privileged.
Wow, sounds like a plan. You know, folks, you don't have to read the book in order to join in the conversation. Dina, you won the book selection, so tell us about this book.
Unforgivable Love by Sophfronia Scott. People magazine calls it marvelously dramatic, brings its era to life with lush detail. I say it's beautifully written and character-rich. I loved it. In this vivid reimagining of the French classic Dangerous Liaisons, set in Harlem during the Harlem Renaissance, it's the summer when Jackie Robinson breaks the Major League Baseball color barrier, and a sweltering heat has Harlem's elite fleeing the city for Westchester County's cooler hills. Two predators stalk amidst the manicured gardens and the old, fine homes. Hair care heiress May Malveaux rules society with an angel smile and a heart of stone. To have the pleasure she craves, control is paramount, especially control of the men May attracts like moths to a flame. Valiant Jackson always gets what he wants, and he's wanted May for years. The door finally opens for him when May strikes a bargain. Seduce her virginal young cousin, and Val's reward will be a night with May. But Val secretly seeks another prize, Elizabeth Townsend, who is fiercely loyal to her church and her civil rights attorney husband. Little does she know that her worst mistake will be Val's greatest triumph. Bottom line, love is unforgivable. It's about sex, power, and revenge.
Well, all right. Okay, Dina. Good background. Are we ready?
Yes.
Well, okay, ladies, grab your cups. It's time for the tea. Let's get right into it. Unforgivable Love. Offie, you said the word vulnerability. Why did you say that?
Well, I use the word vulnerability to describe one of the main characters, May, and that she has this exterior of hardness and coolness, but it really is to protect herself from getting hurt. So the vulnerability is her heart, and again, the ability to have somebody else come and hurt her. And she's fiercely protective of that space of hers.
Okay, so is there another reason that she may be in this situation, something that may have caused this, Dina?
Well, I think she is vulnerable the way all women, particularly at that time, are vulnerable. She's a woman of privilege. She has so much money, yet she has limits on her life simply because she's a woman. Who she can marry, what she is allowed to do, whom she can have sex with, everything. So she's really not free. She's vulnerable in society as a woman.
So do you think that vulnerability still lasts now? Because as women, even though this is set in 1945 during the Harlem Renaissance, it's 2017. Do we still see some of that same problems now with what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. On social media, you hear about women who are very vocal on social media getting, threats that someone's going to come rape them, and, they're shutting down their accounts because they're just speaking out. It might not even be about something controversial, but being, thinking that you have a right to be heard becomes such a threat that someone wants to, threaten you in a sexual way.
Wow.
But I think her vulnerability is not only rooted in her womanhood, but also connected, as you said, she's a woman with money. She's the heiress, and there is a moment when I think that there are a couple of moments in Westchester that I think sum up a lot of what's going on in the book. But part of what she's fighting with is what Rose says, when somebody wants to be loved and they can't get that type of love they're looking for. And her position in society puts her in a place where she cannot get the love that she's seeking out. And I think that in 2017, for different reasons, there are still women who have to and search for a love that we don't find, and it puts us in a position where we are sometimes vulnerable or protecting some part of us, not realizing that as you protect it, you're still not going to get what you want. So those calculations put her on the losing side of the board.
So couldn't we even say that that might even lead to looking for love in all the wrong places, and why we tend to, I don't know what they say, date the same person and don't realize that we're dating the same person with a different name.
I feel like especially today that we are connected so closely to our phones. We have them on us all the time, and we can have so many dating apps that are very, very slightly. But at the same time, you can put in your preferences. You want a man this height, the college educated age, maybe even working within a certain sector, and you can really just go down finding someone that they look alike. But at the same time, because we know that the next date might be a swipe away, we might not even give the person in front of us a chance. That I feel like that happens all the time. We ourselves are very educated and we want to be strong, independent women, but at the same time, we are hoping to find a match. But at the same time, are we really giving each other a chance at all?
But how much time do you have to give a chance? I mean, it's been a while since I've been on a date. Let me. I love you, William Lockley. But now that we got that out the way.
We giving shout outs now?
Now that we got that out the way. I don't want to get in trouble when I get off the set, you know. But I used to date. Like, how much time do you have for all of this, you know, like, can I see if you got it, if you don't have? I mean, I was a little bit cut and dry. I had a boyfriend for every, you know, feeling. Like, you the movie boyfriend, you're the stay-at-home boyfriend, you're the educated, because women are multifaceted. And there's a moment where May talks about you don't have to commit yourself to this one man. You could explore your options. And sometimes you're rushed into this commitment and you have not actually seen what's out there. And so, you know, when I was dating, I was like, you know, I was every woman. I needed every man for every woman I was. But I've been delivered.
But says you need four. Hold on. Y'all doing too much.
But Nigeria.
Janelle got something to say.
Right, Nigeria. So you used to have a man for every feeling, for every situation, but you found your husband, the man of your life. So what is it, or how did you find out that rather than having a boyfriend for every feeling, you were able to distinguish that there's that one person and be vulnerable and say, I only need one for all these feelings?
Well,
you must have given him a chance. You must have given him a chance.
I did give him a chance, but we broke up. To be fair, we broke up every 6 months the first 2 years of our relationship. I was still like every woman. And in the process of, we didn't do things in order. Amen. Praise God. Right? Don't judge. I've been saved. Right? But we moved in together before we got married. And the week that I decided to move in, I still had another boyfriend. And I had to call him and ask him, do you mind? I wasn't fully committed. I was like, I think now is a good time for us to have some space and some separation. And he was like, what? And he hung up. So that didn't go the way I had planned it. But so then I had, this one option, and I had to, as Elizabeth says, till the soil and pour the water on it and watch it grow. And then, I didn't plan on getting married. My husband told me we were going to get married. He came home one day and he said, take May 21st off. We getting married that day. And I was like, this Negro crazy. And I didn't even take that day off. And then he came home one day, a week before the wedding, with wings. And he said, try this on. And I was like, what is this for? And he was like, for our wedding. Whose wedding? He was like, I told you, girl, we get married on the 21st. And I was like, you were serious with that? Yes. Oh, hold on. I got to go request a day off. So I had to tell my boss, I'm having an emergency. I need the day off. And he was like, an emergency in advance? I don't understand. So I was like, I'm getting married. And so then we went through the whole thing. Is this like for immigration? Is it what? And I was like, no. This is real, like a real thing. And he was like, oh my God, you're getting married? Okay, let's both take the day off. And I'm going to come to the reception.
Awesome.
And I took the day off. I wore a prom dress. We got married in the Supreme Court. And we had our reception in Riverbank Park because it was like the last minute. But, you know.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
That's what
So
relationship.
even with that, you kind of got a good story here. But what about those that are still dating? What about those that are still swiping through the apps?
Sure.
Well, what I think people do nowadays is that no one gives anyone enough time to get to know them because, you know, you're swiping left or right. So whatever it is you do, whatever parameters you put in, there is going to be a time where before you can make a commitment. You know, I don't think it's necessarily bad when someone is, you know, has many options open if they have not decided. But I think that when it's not clear what we're trying to do and we're not taking the time to get to know people, I'd say that, you know, dating and in other types of relationships, everyone wants to Facebook friend immediately. And then you're like going through your thing and you don't know half of these friends.
I don't accept them.
Hold it. I've got something to tell you. If you really want to be a part of this conversation, the only way you can get in is if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment. That's the only way your voice is going to get heard. So hurry up. Click subscribe and drop a comment at the end. See ya.
How do we change our preferences so we don't have to walk all the time in our vulnerability?
I feel like y'all are part of this. Like, are y'all watching my life? Is there a camera? Like, how is this so personal? This is one of those, like, you gotta be kidding me moments. Literally this morning, this was my conversation externally and just within myself. Again, understanding that when I was toiling the soil, that was just me having fun and getting to really know myself and kind of see what's out there. There's a definite transition when you're now like, okay, this is a person that I'm going to commit to for the rest of my life. That to me, it takes on a whole like serious tone based on shared values and common goals. It's not romantic. And it's scaring the life out of me. Like, I can't even breathe. And it's not, again, I know this person is the one, just and the way I know it is because I've gotten all the spiritual confirmations that I need. When it's something that serious, I'm like, I need miracles. I need things to fly, and things were flying. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Things are flying. So I got that part, but I feel like May in her heart, I so relate to her because it's like, once you cross that line, you're literally giving somebody your existence that they could crush you. And even if you have other parts of your life that are fine, again, we have the careers, we have, you know, all the other stuff. But if this person crushes you, who wants to do that? Like, I feel like I'm literally totally confused. And it was as of this morning. So I feel like somehow y'all are trying to tell me something. And I'm like, looking at everybody like, what you know?
You living the life right now?
Like, what you know, tell me.
You're right. It is a gamble. But if you never put your chips on the table, then how can you win the game? Right? There's this moment of exposure that you have to open yourself to. But it's also going back to what you said, trying things out. Because we have Elizabeth who realizes like her husband, he's like, but right, she realizes that, but she also had to be exposed to somebody like Valiant to realize that she was settling. She was calling it love and she was going through the motions of love, but she needed to have that experience. And sometimes we don't, until you experience something, you don't know that you want it.
Well, that leads us to this. You said something that was really key. You said settling. So, do we settle to cover our vulnerability?
I think people settle for different reasons.
Yeah.
Okay. It could be that you just, again, you had a fantasy, it didn't come true, but you're like, you know what, I'll take companionship. Maybe it doesn't have the come in the package that I wanted it to come into. It maybe doesn't have the salary that I take. Or it could be that I won't take companionship. I'll take the salary. I want to have a certain lifestyle, and no, we don't have that connection that I was hoping to have. But maybe he'll die, and then I'll meet somebody after him, and I get his money. I was joking.
Everybody's expectations is different.
You got the money.
I was talking about the money.
But we're right here though.
Everybody's expectations is different because I've been there, done that, girlfriend. And let me tell you, companionship, especially when he put his cards on the table, I'm not gonna go into my deep story, but the point is that, you know, if he tells me I'm not looking for and it goes into a relationship, then we catch feelings, and next thing you know, he's not feeling me out anymore, and I'm like, you know, I'm ready to get married. I've never been married. I'm almost 39 next week. I want that. So it's like, okay, whoa, I'm hurt. It's either, I'm in a point in my life, I hate to say it, I'm kind of like chilling. I'm not really looking for anyone. It's about my kid because I've been hurt. So everyone is just different. Some women go right after one relationship is up, they go into another. That's them. You know, you do you. I'm not gonna judge you, but you're strong to do that.
But this is like a wise vulnerability.
They are.
So you said something too, and this is where I think we all fall, especially women. And I can't speak for anybody else.
We do. Strings attached sometimes.
Listen. Yeah. We don't listen.
Don't listen.
Just said,
my friends
clearly, he just told you up front that he ain't want no relationship. But then you call feelings. And see, we do that. And then how many times have we seen the characters in here? We're told up front. And they still went a different direction. So what do we tell them?
Well, a couple of them were manipulated.
That's true too. And we're all human. Remember, we're all human. We're all human too.
Going on, but yes, I think that women sometimes, and not just women, even men, because I've dated some guys. I came out of the club one time, a guy was in the street screaming, "That's my girl!" And I'm like, "Listen, brother, we're not together like that." So it happens on both sides of the field. Right. But you have to be able to think about what you want. And I think that I got married in my 20s, but I recommend that you wait a little while because in the same way that Elizabeth was discovering the things that she wants, when you get married, you have to realize that it's a long-term commitment. So you're not just marrying the person who they are at that moment. You're marrying who they become.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Everybody's not going to stay the same.
Two different things. That's a saying, especially.
But also, I think there's a part of us that, as Margarita just said, that she was aware that a man said that he wasn't looking for a relationship, but she was ready to get married to this person. I think there's something about us that we all know that we're unique and lovable, and we go into something we know we shouldn't, believing that we can change that person.
That's true.
Believing that I can transform that person into being a marrying type. Or this person is going to be my future husband, future father of my kids, but they already said.
They already said.
I don't want that.
Or they've been there, done that, and they're not trying to go back again. They just want to, you know, some people come with a lot of baggage. You don't know.
That's
you know?
They say, I mean, women want to change a man and men want the woman to stay the same.
Interesting.
That's a good analogy.
That's the truth.
But you know, and I think that's really good and a really good transition into, we've talked about the vulnerability. We've talked about being women of privilege. But now, what about this whole thing about revenge? Oh, Dina, go ahead, because you about to jump in. Come on.
I think the need to get that revenge is the ultimate vulnerability.
Yes.
I mean, the characters who wanted to get revenge, I mean, they were actually really hurt, even though, and that's why they wanted it. It was from the pain. It was from the wound.
And they say hurt people hurt people.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing I'm saying. You end up hurting yourself by trying to hurt the other person and seek revenge. I mean, I would love to be the person that does not want to have that, and that's why I usually just like go into prayer until I get right with the Lord. Like, okay, God, you know I'm about to just go. Nope, I'm gonna sit here until it passes. But that feeling is still there. So how do you get it without hurting yourself?
But that's real.
Yeah.
But that's real. We all
you gotta pray that down. I'm like,
and it's like, and I'm not gonna tell you, and y'all know I'm a good church girl. I'm not gonna tell you that prayer work all the time, and prayer works all the time. But in your mind at that situation, and you mad, baby doll done did you real good and wrong. And baby doll, now you done looked up. Baby doll is with one of your good girlfriends. What you do?
We're gonna sleep with them both.
Pray.
But that was the old. That was the woman at the well.
Draw the line in the sand. Draw the line in the sand. But you know what, y'all, ladies, On that
want
note,
revenge.
on that note. All right, Dina, thank you so much for suggesting this book, Unforgivable Love by Sophfronia Scott. And thank you for watching. Let's keep this conversation going and growing right here on YouTube by commenting below as we spill the tea on Unforgivable Love. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and remember, everybody, who's telling your story?
The team!